Look who's here, everybody. Richard Zagars is here. Ziggy, are you kidding me? Listen, this is an epic show. We're going to talk to him about everything, right? We're going to go back to his early beginnings, Flying Dutchman, Schwinn, Raleigh, Scorpion, Jag for a couple of races. No one knows that. That's obscure. I got that one from Douglas Christopher. And Profile, right? Let's talk about the style that Richard Zagars has, right? I put him up there with Charlie Williams, kind of like cool haircuts, good music, good bikes, clean uniforms. Awesome. So, Richard Zagars today, we're going to get into, I got some good stuff. Thanks to Douglas Christopher, because I got some good stuff we're going to pull up. This particular episode is sponsored by Lunch with Legends merchandise. We have hats, we have shirts, so stop on over, or shoot me over an email, bmxlegendsforever@yahoo.com, and talk to me about the merchandise. It's good stuff. You want to show up to wherever you're going in this. Instant street cred, you know what I mean? Thanks, Richard, for joining us. Let's get the interview started. Thanks for joining the show, sir.
Thank you. Good morning, all.
Good time. So, I'm excited because we're all good, right?
Yep.
I got a list here, which is awesome. I followed your career for sure because, especially in the profile years,
Yes.
I remember like just you'd show up with the 09 gear and everything was clean and the bikes were perfect and you were like a Mack truck just taking dudes out. I got some of those stories too, but can you bring me back to the first time you can remember a bicycle, even if it wasn't a BMX, but how did you truly get on two wheels?
I gotta say, it goes back to, probably like everybody else, when we're 8, 9, 10 years old, and in the neighborhood, the kids, we're all together and we're finding places to ride.
Yeah.
Growing up here.
Emulating motorcycles or just?
Yeah, in that time, it was more or less trying to be like true motocross.
Yeah. Who were your motocross heroes?
Oh, I gotta say, Bob Hanna.
Bob Hanna, yeah.
Pure Cars Maker. Thank you. And then you go on to other times of Eric Kehoe.
Eric Kehoe, nice.
And O'Meara, David Bailey.
A former BMXer, Johnny.
Yep.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah. So it started early on, and running around the hills of Burbank.
Okay.
It was. That's just the way it was. Life around here. We had tracks that were set up by pioneers.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of where it began.
What was your first race like? Where was your first race at?
I want to say it was. It's probably 11 years old.
Okay.
Van Nuys Youth Center.
Oh wow.
Friday night. Had a buddy that took me out there. Pie plate days.
Okay.
And went out there, and it was a small, tiny place, but it was like a stadium to me.
Yeah.
From that point, it took off.
So you were a teen center guy. So
Yes.
how many iconic people came from the teen center? Like you could probably off the top of your head go 20 guys that went on to Superstar. Do you feel that because of the teen center, you became who you were? Competition.
I'd have to say that in being part of the Southern California, the California part of BMX.
At that time, right?
A lot of the.
And what year was your first race?
It was probably 76, yeah.
Crazy.
So, a lot of people that, Byron Friday, Hanson, there's just a number of people that, Kevin Jackson, all these people that we looked up to, as a kid I looked up to.
How many motos were there? Can you remember what the scene was like? Like, was it a big crowd?
For me at that time, yes, it was like I said earlier, it was like going to a stadium.
Yeah.
And certainly it was, a smaller venue, but at that time, kids were out and they were, doing these things, and it was a nice thing.
Where'd you get in your first race? What place you get?
I gotta say, I don't remember exactly. It was either a first or second.
Okay.
And it kind of just came natural to me. And from that point, just from day one.
So were you ice skating before? Were you ice skating before or BMX?
That was well before.
Okay.
Yeah, I was.
See, I got you.
Mom, yeah, you got me. My mom had us kids and had two sisters that we were in figure skating.
You were figure skating?
Yeah,
I didn't know if it's hockey or figure
yeah.
skating.
No,
Nice,
at the Big Ice Arena. And so had enough of that and started doing a little bit of hockey.
Okay.
And that was short-lived, but a lot of football, Pop Warner football. So in between BMX and Pop Warner football was.
Did you like the team sports? Or did you like the individuality of BMX?
I think I was more of an individual.
Yeah, just focus on you. You don't got to worry about anybody messing up.
I did like team sports because I played them all. Baseball, football, all that stuff.
Ice skating too.
Yeah.
So what? So after your first race, are you hooked instantly, or do you take a break, or you go back right back?
It started from that point. It was
addiction right off the bat.
Yeah, and like I said, it was through a friend that took me out on a Friday night and got me involved in it. And after I think I did probably 2 or 3 races, that I just went out with my friends and did that. And
all at the teen center.
Yeah, at the teen center, and then from after that point on, it was me and my mom. My mom was always involved in the sport.
Your mom's famous for her cheers, by the way.
Yeah, she was very loud and she enjoyed the kids. She enjoyed taking care of the kids. It was just kind of like a family atmosphere.
Awesome. Yes, I was told that if you're a Southern California BMXer, you'll remember, go Richard.
Yeah, got that seat.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So what happened? Do you start to spread out to other tracks, or are you just the teen center dude?
No. So from that point on, when my mom got involved, we started racing Yarnell.
Oh wow! Hello to the Burbank Airport.
Yeah. And I want to say Yarnell is where I met Doug Christopher.
Okay. What year was that?
That was in, I want to say like 77. I was probably like 12.
Amazing.
Yeah, so from that point on, things kind of changed and sponsors came along.
How did you like Yarnell?
It was great. I loved it. It was rough. It wasn't groomed. It was just a hillside that you bonsai down.
Amazing.
Rubber band starts when we started there.
Wow.
And so it went from Yarnell to Simi Valley to branching out to you're starting to run for points in the area. Then you end up you're racing, Wednesday, Friday, 2 or 3 times on Saturday, 2 or 3 times on Sunday.
Who was some of your competition back then? Anybody that we would know?
It's hard to. I can't remember exactly who. There's like a guy, Mike Kratzer, a couple other people that were out of Simi Valley, but mostly from the Van Nuys Youth Center area. There out in Van Nuys was most of the competition. And it branches out, and then you find yourself going to San Diego, going to other places, and trying your stuff there.
Yeah.
Coming across Eddie King and them.
Huh. It's been a good time.
Yeah. That's kind of where it all started.
So you have an aptitude for it, and you're good right out of the gate. And talk to me about the Flying Dutchman, because that's I saw the ads as a kid, but you know, Donnie Atherton, and I never really understood what it was. What was it, a shop?
Bike shop out of Newbury Park.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, it started out. That's where Donnie Atherton started racing with. The guy Mike Eckel, I think it was Jeff Eckel, and the Dalton brothers. The Dalton brothers go back.
They were badass.
Yeah. Mike Dalton, Steve Dalton, and it you know, grew into a nice little local team of bike shop, and we branched out into, went to my first national with that team out in Las Vegas.
What kind of bikes were you guys on?
Diamondbacks when they first came out.
Way.
Yeah, Diamondbacks.
Like a Silver Streak or something, or like a Turbo? They didn't give you a Leary Turbo, no?
No, they were well before that, I think.
That's true.
Yeah.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, so that was just a local team that
Spawned some greats.
yeah, and we got around, and that was the first year that I actually ran for points, going against Bobby and Cenas, you know, with points and stuff. So
Amazing.
little local shop, little tiny kid, ends up number 2 in Southern California, and that's, you know,
Wow.
goes on from there.
And then your first national you said was Vegas?
I think it was Vegas or Bakersfield, USGP in Bakersfield.
What's it like going from Teen Center to a national? Probably not so bad because of the competition.
Well, I tell you, when you come across the other people in like Northern California,
Yeah.
San Diego, Bakersfield produced a lot of good riders.
They did actually. That's
and so when you come across all that and you see all the competition that's out there, it was pretty overwhelming.
wow.
So it took a few nationals to kind of.
And you were Flying Dutchman on your Diamondback in Vegas?
In Vegas and at Bakersfield. Or Bakersfield, I want to. Actually, Bakersfield was probably my first one, and I rode for EFF.
Wow.
Yeah, out of Pillars West.
Wow.
Mhm.
That's huge. It's another fact I didn't know. That's interesting.
Yeah, and that's where Steve Gibbons.
Nice.
A lot of people were brought out of EFF.
Okay.
So that's kind of where it all began.
Okay. Interesting. So what do you get at that national?
Well, I got to tell you, I think I barely qualified for the main
No
event.
way.
Yeah.
Wow. You remember who won?
I don't. To tell you the truth, it was likely Eddie King,
Okay.
or I think he wrote the rules and things.
Yeah.
So
So that was your class. It was Eddie and like Polson.
Bolson's is further down later on.
Yeah, but
in
that
Vegas.
class, your amateur class, was one of the best classes of all time.
Yeah. It was a pretty loaded. Brian Patterson was in that class. Ronnie Anderson.
Went on to do some good stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So talk to me about the national. Now your national obsession starts, right? Because you didn't make the main, but what drove you mentally to come back and give it another shot? It didn't discourage you.
No, just the love of getting out there and riding bikes and the track and the people.
Yeah.
I gotta say, probably most of it was the family involved with it, and the people. Just an unreal atmosphere.
Yeah, there's something about BMX people, because I've been doing these interviews and I'll do an interview and guys will call me after the interview and say, "What are you up to?" I'm like, it's cool. You create these friendips, and I followed your career. I knew what kind of frame pad you had. I knew what kind of bars you ran. You used to have the little thing over your brake lever for the dirt. Yeah, I know these things, right? But it's interesting now to finally, get to meet and talk about your past.
Sure.
So after, so there's a ton of nationals, right? So you just say, all right, whatever, maybe I'll give it another shot. And then when do you get your first national win? Is it later on or is it pretty early?
It's probably It was probably in my third year.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
So you stuck it out, like you weren't discouraged.
No.
No back to ice skate or anything.
No fallback.
No fall back to
No,
ice skate.
when I took up BMX, I was involved in popular football pretty heavy, and we would go from practice at football on Wednesday nights and Friday nights, and I'd change in the back of the car, going to BMX, going to races at the Van Nuys Youth Center, and so I progressed out of football and just full blown went for BMX, and that's why just kind of because of the environment, because it's something you can do every day. You get out and ride with your buddies. That you can. It's a love that you.
The adrenaline, I think, is a little different too. Like going fast on your bike, jumping doubles is like.
It's all those aspects of the natural terrain and finding things and trying to conquer this, conquer that.
Yeah.
And hanging with all your buddies
And the mobility of just jumping on your bike and going to your friend's house, not putting on your helmet and shoulder pads.
outside the air and all that stuff.
Yeah. Interesting. So Flying Dutchman lasted for how long?
That was for, I want to say, all of my second year, which was probably through being 12, and then Jag Flying Dutchman associated with Jag BMX when Jag came out.
Okay. Wow.
And so
that's huge.
that was Ronnie and me and the Daltons. We were affiliated with Jag BMX.
Sweet bikes back then too.
Yeah.
Those Jags are pretty.
They were produced by Mongoose. All that came through Mongoose. So Rennie Roker, innovator, really saw the future of where it could go. And so that's kind of my first tour was riding for Jag.
Oh wow!
Flying Dutchman. And that was in '78.
So how many races were on Jag? Quite a bit.
Oh,
you did a tour.
I probably raced probably a half a year, almost a year with Jag.
How does the Jag thing go down? Because you're coming from a shop and you're starting to do good, and are you approached by Rennie himself for that, or how does it? Because it was through Flying Dutchman, right?
Really, it's hard to recall exactly what transpired because it was one of those things where on the local scene, I was everywhere.
Right.
And so with that, through negotiations maybe with Rennie Roper and the owner of the bike shop, it all came to fruition. I just kind of was like riding and just whoever wanted to give me a bike to ride.
How old are you at this point?
Probably end of 12.
Yeah, so you're 12 years old. You're like, get me to the races, give me a bike.
Just let me
free
ride.
cool bikes. Yeah,
Just let me ride.
Yeah. And so on Jag, are you becoming a national force or no?
Well, that's when things kind of where we went on tour. I went on tour the first time. So that's where.
As a 12-year-old.
Yeah, so that's where we went to nationals, Shawnee, Oklahoma, New Jersey, across the country, and that's where the NBA brought me into. I traveled, got pretty close with Ernie Alexander and Susan, so that's where the national scene.
Yeah. And how about this? I look at this now, right, as we are in our older years, and you're 12 years old, and your parents go, yeah, go ahead, just go on the road with these guys, and we'll see you when you get back. Like, that does not happen now.
Well,
it
doesn't.
like,
it doesn't. It there's a lot of times I'll tell my family that it's amazing how I was very fortunate to be able to experience this and grow up out on the road and seeing all these things, and at a time when we didn't have to worry about stuff outside of just going out and doing.
Yeah.
I mean, who who now can say you can go to Florida, a 12 and 13-year-old kid, ride around the streets and
go to the
and
restaurants with your
go to
buddies,
the water slides, and then just come back. We were able to experience all that, and with all the people that were with us, it was unbelievable.
Yeah, you kind of grew up through the older guys on the team. You know, they were your leaders.
Yeah, I mean, we had Ted Gourmetti, Bobby Encinas, Byron Friday, just a whole host of different older riders that we were able to interact with and were able to travel with and enjoy.
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
And so that's where the national scene, where traveling across the country, started hitting nationals. Where Ernie was sanctioning nationals back in the city.
And you did nationals from 12 all the way your whole life until you were pro for profile, right?
86.
That's incredible. That's insane. Your life, but I love life on the road because I did it with BMX and I did it with mountain biking. And it's like, I love it. I love living out of a suitcase and being gone for 8 months. It's calming. It gives you different outlook on different cultures and parts of the U.S. And
absolutely. Now that I look back and I realize what I was able to experience, it's just, I wouldn't trade it.
Yeah.
Even though there was times when it was rough, I wouldn't trade it. The people and times were unbelievable.
Yeah. So after Jag, you're going to, you meet him on the road, so you're in the national scene on Jag. Are you doing well and starting to become one of the guys to beat?
I think so.
Cool.
I mean, I was, like I said, at that time it was so much fun that you realize, am I a national rider or am I a local rider? Or what am I? You're just fortunate to be able to get out there and enjoy yourself.
Yeah. And you're traveling with people. What's funny is you're traveling with people from your area. Like, you could have raced in Van Nuys, but now you're in Shawnee or you're in Vineland, and you're just racing for these points. And do you remember your first national number? Did you, like, maybe on that first tour?
I don't know that I ever really gained a national number in the NBA.
Okay.
Can't remember if I did. But I think in recognizing national numbers, I think that came with the MDL.
Okay.
Because they were broken down age groups, whereas
gotcha.
NBA, ABA, and the other associations, it was combined. National ranking was combined from, could have been an 8-year-old going against a 17-year-old.
Wow, that is true.
Yeah, and then the NBL brought in this, by age group. National.
And the 3-moto system, which I love. If I'm going to show up to a track, I want to go around 3 times. I don't want to transfer first moto.
Exactly.
And then you sit, because when I came back to racing modern, I remember going, they're going to transfer today. I go, come on. Like, I drove all the way here. I want to try some moves. I want to maybe try some different things. Okay, I'll sit out to the main. I was never a big fan of the transfer system. So what happens after Jag? Right now you're on the road. You're racing every week, if not more, multiple times a week. Who's after Jag?
So after Jag, I go back to Flying Dutchman.
Oh, no way.
And probably there for halfway through being 13 years old or whatever. I can't remember. It was just before, I think, the summer tour of '79.
Wow.
And that's when Schwinn comes along.
Amazing.
But, yeah, I went from Flying Dutchman to Jag, and then back to Flying Dutchman, falling out with Jag.
How's the Schwinn deal go down? Because they're in '79, they're a monster team, if not the team.
Yeah, that was, I want to say, could have been through Mark Pippin, who was a team manager.
I love Mark.
And he is a team manager, and we're early on in the year, and I think that's where my pickup on Schwinn came from, and also being that Ernie Alexander being on tour with Ernie, and we visit Schwinn headquarters in Chicago and so on. So that whole group, was a thing.
That Schwinn headquarters must have been
History.
ridiculous.
History.
Yeah.
Just unbelievable history.
And how'd you got a Sting for them riding that? Or no, you were
No.
little, so you would have got a smaller.
It was actually, when I first started riding with them, it was the Root Brothers, Kevin Jackson, Chuck Hood, and myself, Mark Pippin. And so they were like custom-made frames.
Wow.
And if I'm not mistaken, that was the year that Greg Hill rode for Schwinn also.
Wow.
So yeah, that was the year before the Sting.
Wow.
They were
And
custom.
there was you were in that ad, right? Weren't you in an ad? You were standing all